Okay, just to briefly explain on the remaining part of the bending moments on the beams, there is the aspect of calculating the maximum bending moment, which we are using MB here, maximum bending moment, and in conjunction with it, there's maximum stress in the beam, and we have got the moment of inertia and the centroid. We are looking at the beam from the cross-section side. So when we look at the beam from the cross-section side, we are going to consider the stresses. Then the bending moment is solved from the length side. Remember, our story was like this. Here's the beam, it has got supports. Then you might have, it has got uniformly distributed load. Maybe there is a concentrated load. Then you solve bending moment. And where you see your bending moment is maximum. That is the figure, you come and bring it here. Then we are going to look at how do we solve moment of inertia. How do we find centroid of members like this one? Okay? Once we solve this one and that one, and bending moment from that slender beam, then we'll be able to know what is the stress that is imposed in the member. So this is usually used for the selection of beams. Now, to simplify the equation, you find that you have got the I that can be simplified using the polar moment, ZE, with the Y. So your polar moment, it is I over Y. This polar moment and the moment of inertia, you can find them in the red book, which will be given to you in the exam for the steel sections. So if you go to these steel sections, this is the book to be given to you in the exam. If you check inside on the tables on each member, it shows I in the x-axis and the I in the y-axis, as well as ZE. It also shows you the the Y position and so on for all steel sections. So you'll be able to find all those figures from the XX and from the YY. So some of these are standard if they've given you the standard beam. You don't need to go and solve them. But if they haven't been given and they have given you a section where you need to show your calculations, therefore you need to solve in order for you to find the I and the Y. These you need to solve. Beam maximum bending moment you solve from here. The combination of I and Y gives you the ZE. So this is how you play with this. Now when you are drawing the shear force, this is the diagram that you get, but this will be explained exactly in detail in the other lessons. How do you get the values so that you can plot the shear force? Here you just get the idea of this is the shear force, and shear force is equal to F over A, or in construction we use PV is equal to FV over A. So these are because this topic is the same in strength of materials, machine design, and the construction in the building and structure construction program. So this is the approach that you have. There are some questions which will be shared with you. Okay. Now here I will explain in detail how do we solve the centroid and how do we find the centroid itself. How do we solve I and how do we solve Y? How do we solve moment of inertia? How do we solve Y? In the next video.